I think our progress in closing the gender equity gap is really, really slow. And if you look at the World Economic Forum, we've got their gender gap index. And Australia currently sits about 44th out of 150. So as a country as a whole, putting aside just tech, there's a lot of work that we still need to do. And if you look at the top performing countries, those in the Nordics, places like New Zealand, they have a much higher participation of women in government roles. They also have a much higher participation in executive and board roles in top companies. So it shows we've got a really, really long way to go. And I think if you extrapolate this out on our current rate of progress, we're going to close the gap in about 99 years, according to the World Economic Forum. And I don't think anybody wants that. So I think what we need is really strong policy and leadership from across government and public sector. So we need to look abroad because there are places who've done an incredible job of it that we can learn from.
Diversity when it comes to hiring is so important. I'm very proud to say that all of our team members come from different countries, and we've got a pretty good gender mix as well. And really, I've seen a dramatic change when it comes to individual growth, when it comes to like managing employees and also growing the company together. It's actually played a very important role.
We have to acknowledge that we have biases that are getting in the way of progress for founders of different backgrounds. We then can address them through education, through exposure and through active outreach. So we're doing a lot more, and I think encourage all VCs to get out more, go into different environments. We have to have a diversity of opinion looking at the companies as they come and supporting the founders as they come to their journey, and make sure that inclusion is having the opportunity to have those conversations and having different views represented with a voice.
My experience personally in business is actually that women are way better at helping each other than guys. I think women really do back each other in like business context and their surroundings. So that's all we need to do, right? Like continue elevating each other, and as we progress, the other person progresses as well, and then overall, hopefully over time, we can get to an overall level playing field.
I believe sharing stories is really important. Sharing stories is really to spark inspiration in others, first of all. So that's why, we run a lot of events to allow women this platform to share their stories. We're always talking about the highlight reel of business and how amazing it is and what we're achieving all the time, and not really delving into the weeds of, actually I made a really big mistake and this is how I picked myself up, or this is how I overcame this problem. Like if we don't have those conversations, people don't feel as though that they're doing the right things, which is what I felt a lot of the time.
I think the most important thing we have to do as women is set an example. We need to set an example to our children, to our colleagues, to our partners, and to the men in our lives, that it is okay to be equal socially, equal economically, and equal intellectually. My daughter, who is now 24, is sometimes struggling with what she's going to do. She hasn't really found her feet in her chosen career. And she said to me the other day when I was preparing for thinking about feminism and thinking about, the issues that women face, she said, "Mum, you showed me that women can do it at any age and they don't become invisible at 40, and you can make choices later in life." And she said, "I don't feel the pressure that I felt a couple of years ago because I was really thinking about what you've done."
I think it really starts with challenging those stereotypes, but in the formative years. Like with your kids. I have that conversation with my boys all the time, especially when they say to me, "Mum, what's with the song, Beyonce Run the World?" I have this conversation with them about the fact that there is such a gap between men and women, in leadership roles, in a number of economic situations. And so we actually need those anthems to be able to motivate women to make, and men to make that change. And so I think it really just starts with changing those stereotypes from an early age, and also be really honest. I think we need to be honest to each other, but also to ourselves. A long time I ignored it, and I thought, this is the way things are, just accept it. But if we do that, then we continue to see the same thing. So we need to be honest, and we need to surround ourselves with people that, recognise the gap and are going to help you change it.
So what you're saying is the beginning to solving the problem is Beyonce?
Yeah, Beyonce, that's it.
That's
yeah, absolutely. She's the best, really, when you think about it.